guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and I am a comic convention crafter and vendor for the business So Endearing. First off, let me tell you a bit about my business. So Endearing was born a year ago. I primarily make earrings, thus So Endearing. I thought it was cute. But here lately I've ventured into also selling amigurumi, which is crochet plushies. And then also sometimes we customize tumblers or special order tumblers from overseas that you cannot find here. And today I'm going to break down my end of first quarter financials and what was successful and what wasn't. And then I'm also going to talk about what I'm doing to prepare for the second quarter of the year, April through June. For my first convention of the year, it was Handmade Raleigh. It's a brand new convention by the GalaxyCon folks. GalaxyCon, of course, Raleigh is one of, if not the biggest convention in the state. So I thought that it was perfectly fitting for them to introduce an anime-centered convention in the same convention center that one of their biggest shows is at. I decided to sign up for this one. For this show, I only got an Artist Alley table. Generally speaking, I like to have a 10 by 10 booth because plushies and tumblers take up a lot of space. But just because this was new and we didn't know how the attendance was going to be, and being after Christmas, oftentimes people aren't buying as much, we decided to go low budget and keep the costs as minimal as possible in order to give us the best chance of not losing money. The bar was pretty low. We just didn't want to lose, but we wanted to check it out. We wanted to support a new convention. For me personally, my experience was great. It wasn't crazy busy. Some of the aisles were pretty packed most of the time. The way the traffic flowed, it did not generally make it over to us, but we did make a profit. All said and done, after booth fee, which was $300, hotel expenses and everything, the net profit was about $400, which of course the $400 doesn't account for time spent making things, the actual time at the convention. Am I paying myself a fair wage? Not really, but after all expenses, material costs and everything, that's where I was at, and that was above and beyond my expectations. I immediately signed up for next year for a larger space. Because I think as successful as it was as a convention, lots of people were there, they were excited about it. I think that next year it's going to grow, and I think year over year it's just going to get better and better. Second major convention for 2024 was Pop Culture Tattoo Con, also a brand new convention here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pop Culture Tattoo Con is run by the same folks who run Anime Inc. in Richmond, which is well established, well known. And so they decided to put on a convention on their home turf here in Charlotte, and it went surprisingly well. It was a little expensive. It was $750 for the weekend. However, I live within an hour of Charlotte, so driving to and from was pretty doable for me, and I didn't have hotel expenses, just gas. So on the other side of things, it was fairly cheap for me to do. With it being a new convention, generally speaking, I wouldn't put that much money out on a booth, but I had absolutely nothing going on in January except for Animate, and I wanted to get something else on the books. Wanted to try my hand at a tattoo convention that was close to home, that didn't require a hotel. And all said and done, I did about $2,000 in sales, $1,922 to be exact, which was fantastic, honestly. My profit for the show, after factoring in parking and the booth fee, the materials cost for everything, my net profit was $744, which was great. That helps to account for my time, as well as all of my travel and such, because, you know, amigurumi is very time consuming. The drive is an hour. So that was great. That was an unexpected bonus. After that, I decided to go ahead and do their other two conventions, Anime Inc. in Richmond and also Video Game Tattoo Con in Knoxville. The people who ran the show were really, really, really nice. Spent a bit of time talking with the manager, the shop manager for Mimic Tattoo. She was great. The tattoo artists were great. 10 out of 10, great experience. Totally am signed up for next year. So February was a very slow month. Not a whole lot going on in the first quarter of the year convention wise. The only multi-day show, actually the only show in general in February that I had was Mad Monster Party, a very popular horror show in North Carolina. And it's been running for years and years. It's great for vendors. They've got a nice small vendor room that hasn't grown beyond the amount of people who go. And quite honestly, this is the most profitable show thus far that I've had. The booth, we got a 6x6 booth because a lot of the things that I make don't really work for a horror convention per se. So I decided to go smaller and just bring the things that were on theme plus some of my best sellers. So I also brought my Sailor Moon earrings, my Pokemon earrings, my Lego lightsabers. Those are always really popular. So I brought those guys, and then also all of my horror ones. So this is my second time going to Mad Monster. The first time was in August, the Mad Monster Expo, which is in the fall, Mad Monster Party in the spring. And I have already signed up for August again this year. I plan to return in February of next year. So what sold at Mad Monster? I sold 30 of my amigurumi, almost entirely my large ones. So either my really, really small, cheap ones or my big guys. My Mimikyu sold, my Gur sold, and those guys are about this big. I'll attach pictures. And I sold nearly out of spiders and mini octopi. The only thing that I was disappointed in is my giant kawaii bats. They're about 2 feet wide. They fold up really cute. And at previous shows, I have always sold what I brought, so I made extra because Mad Monster and horror, you figure bats are gonna sell. They did not. I sold one, exactly one, which is fine because they sell at other shows and I will continue to have them to bring. All said and done, I sold, let's see, 70 pairs of earrings, 20 hair accessories, 28 amigurumi plushies, that I know of that was written down. I'm pretty sure it was more than that though. I've switched to all digital tracking to help with this in the future. We sold about 30 commercially made plushies. Total sales for that show was $2,318. I paid $465 for the booth, $200 for a hotel. And my net profit for that show was $1,600, which was incredible. That's the best show we've done so far. That's it for February. In March, I did GalaxyCon Richmond. Again, I sent Giant Gur, which I'm making another one now because he's sold. I sent a giant Mimikyu, giant Charizard. Let's see, Cthulhu didn't sell, and he's about this big. My giant Kirby didn't sell. Now, giant Kirby is more of a showpiece. He's $300. He takes up my entire armchair. I will attach a picture here. I sold 22 amigurumi plushies. I didn't sell very many earrings. Overall, so GalaxyCon this year was a massive disappointment, and I think that was multifactorial. I think partly it was floor placement, but I think it was also partly the booth. This was one that I could not go to for family reasons. Somebody else went in my wake. And I think that a lot of things just added together for this show. I didn't lose money, but I didn't really make money either. All said and done, this was a very, very expensive show to do. My 8x10 Premier Artist booth was $800. My hotel fees cost $450-ish, and I made about $270 in net profit for this show, but that doesn't come close to accounting for my time or the time of the folks who went in my wake. Massive disappointment all around. I do plan to go again next year, since I did not lose, and it is supposed to be an incredible show, so I'm just hoping for better placement next year, and I'll be there in person, and hopefully we don't have a repeat of that. So to finish out the quarter, I had 2 small pop-ups locally. I did another pop-up at the mall. The mall, I did a lot better than the first time I went. I had $550 in sales there. I went ahead and signed up for their holiday markets. around Black Friday because late November, early December conventions can be kind of dicey with the holidays and stuff. People are spending all their money doing Christmas shopping. So there's just not a lot to go around for us convention vendors. There are a couple shows in that time frame that I would still like to do. But these were just kind of a guarantee. Gotta go ahead and sign up for them now sort of thing. Low cost and close to home. So that breaks down my first quarter. I've got a lot of stuff planned for the second quarter. Coming up this month, I have Big Lick Comic-Con in Northern Virginia. I also have Fayetteville Comic-Con. That one is supposed to be awesome. Then we go to May and June is the big month. So in June, I've got 3 big shows. I'm going to Video Game Tattoo Con in Knoxville, Tennessee, that I'm pretty excited about. I've got Heroes Con in Charlotte. That is a big show. That was the first big convention that I did last year. So I'm going back to that one again this year with a bigger booth. And then I'm doing Winston-Salem Pride, which I did last year, and it was incredible. The people were so nice. I made a ton of money, and it was great, honestly. Definitely recommend. What I'm doing right now, I am working on replacing all of my large plushies. I've got my chibi Pokemon. I will insert a picture here. I've got all of the starters, all based off of an original Pikachu pattern I found on Instagram. Like Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Eevee, all based off of that original pattern. Making 2 large Gurs this time because I don't want to have to make a Gur every time I come back from a show. Which Gur, he comes out to about 18 to 20 inches tall or so. He's a big boy. Also, same for Mimikyu. He's about the same size. For Gur, I sell him for $95. Mimikyu's a little bit bigger, a little more time consuming, uses some more yarn, so he goes for $110. I'm making 2 of him. I have made God knows how many emotional support pickles because I brought 4 of them to my little pop-ups last 2 weeks ago, and they're all gone. So I need more pickles. I've also still got a bunch of chubby dinosaurs. I really need to stock up on a lot of my more medium-sized kind of things. I need to make some chubby cats. And of course, the Pokemon, I've made 5 of each of everybody except for Bulbasaur, because I was waiting for yarn. Bulbasaur, I've got to make 3 more. I've got to stuff them all, sew them all, put them all together, and plan to get going on that one. I intend to start trying to post every week. This is my first video. I'm gonna go get back to crocheting now, but I will check in once a week and post different topics like the financials of running a convention business, what it actually looks like when it feels like you're making all the money in the world, but you're not. I want to vlog some of the conventions, get a little bit of insight from all of the folks that I meet and everybody I've gotten to know, because I've met some really cool people over the last year. But I also plan to be very upfront about financially what it's like. Might do some crochet with me's. Probably will do some tutorials. I've got some really cool new patterns that I've been working on. I made a giant sea turtle, macaron sea turtle, that I intend to post the pattern for because it's incredible and I'm very proud of it. And that of course was inspired by Crochet by Jenna's smaller macaroon turtles, because with hers, even with the size 7 jumbo yarn and a 10mm hook, I think the standard size one only comes out to be about this big, but I wanted one that was as big or bigger than Kirby. And I achieved it, and I wrote everything down. I'm going to polish it up and I'm going to post it as a downloadable pattern that I hope everybody will check out. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I will see you next week.